By far, intros are the hardest part about this whole process. Welcome or welcome back. Giving you a little bit of sage here and clearing your energy and mine. Yes. Yes, yes. So today I wanted to talk about knowing yourself in your craft or your spiritual journey. I don't think we're ever going to really stop learning who we are as individuals in this particular journey. You know, I mean, it's always a learning. It's always a learning journey. Different things happen to us, situations in our lives, relationships. You grow older, you change. We change, and our interests change, and our belief systems change. I guess what I am getting at and what I wanted to explore with you is just the idea that it's really, really good to know kind of within your own self what you're working with. And this is outside of your environment and all of that. So I did write a few notes to keep me on track as per usual because I am a little rambly witch. So the practice of magic and the craft is pretty much about manipulating energy. I mean, it just is. It's whether you're trying to manifest something or, you know, whatever it is. If you're casting spells, if you're working with magic, you're trying to manipulate energies. And if you don't have a clear understanding of what's going on within you, you are pretty much going to have your butt handed to you. I mean, there's no nice way to put it. You know, if you're playing with magic and you don't know the energy that you're carrying, then what you send out, what you're putting out there, it's going to mingle with not so great energies if you're in a negative mindset. So yeah, if you want the desired change and you're looking to change anything, get to know you a little bit better. So knowing yourself, what I mean by that is that set point within, that natural state of being, who you are when you're alone, when you're not around others, that space in your mind and in your heart that you go to, where you don't have to be concerned with others' opinions or beliefs or projections towards you. You know, you don't have to put on the mask, the persona, I guess you'd say. The way that we've reached our set point, I think it started in childhood. You know, our parents' beliefs, the things that we were taught, the society we grew up in, schools, that kind of thing. Those things, depending upon how they made us feel emotionally, sort of made up the subconscious. And I think that's our directional, sort of our compass, our guidance mechanism, you know, as we're moving through life. So we have those things in place, and those began from our parents, you know, their beliefs. I'd hate to think that someone is watching my channel who didn't get, you know, an abundance of love as a child. Personally, I mentioned in another one of my videos that I dealt with a lot of trauma growing up. So I'm speaking from a space of you know, traumatic experience, and I really had to dig myself out of a hole. And that healing still continues. You know, I don't think that you ever really get rid of it. It just doesn't go away. I had that sacred space within me, my heart space, and that was always connected to nature and to the, you know, the magic, the unknown, the mystery. I guess all children are really born with that, you know, that kind of playful, mysterious side, but I'm getting off track. My point is that depending on how you were raised, the people that you were brought up around, the schools, the, you know, Christian beliefs, churches, who knows, but you get my point. So that sort of molded and shaped and formed you, sort of as the person, as the core person that you kind of are. And that can be a wonderful thing, and it can be a bad thing in some cases. And what I mean is that, like, for instance, myself, you know, having to dig out of the emotional and physical trauma that I went through. So there's your personality when you're alone, and then there is the way that you show up for your friends or your family or groups of people. You know, there's that mask, there's that personality shift, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's just you commingling with, you know, with others' energy. But, you know, ask yourself, you know, how much of that is a show? How much are you having to disguise you to sort of either keep up or to fit in? Are you comparing yourself with others? Are you trying to match up? Are you trying to keep up? Ask yourself questions, you know, what's your dark side? We all have that sort of shadowy side, and I'm not talking about the shadow side as a whole. I mean, we all have those particular things that may be habit forming, or God forbid, addictions, or, you know, our eating habits, or just the things that I would consider to be a negative or a dark thing that sort of holds you back from being the best version of yourself that you can be. So really kind of dig into that side and ask yourself, you know, where could I improve in these areas? So that's, you know, those are the hard questions, but they're really important. What are your beliefs? Ask yourself that. You know, what are my beliefs? And is my belief system locked into the way that my parents brought me up? You know, am I doing things because it's really what sets me on fire and gets me going and pushes me forward? Is that what I'm doing this for? Is my belief system mine, or does it belong to others? These are all crazy hard questions to ask yourself. What is pushing you forward? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Is it for you? Is it for someone else? It's so important, you know, because this life really is, it's about you and your quest for answers and your quest for, to feel complete and to feel fulfilled, you know? So, have you set boundaries? Do you know what those boundaries are? Do you need to do boundary work? You know, can you say no? Because that's really a very important thing for keeping your energy in a positive set, you know? Are you doing things that you don't really want to be doing, making choices and, you know, appeasing others to satisfy them, even though that might not be something that you want to do? What are your influences? What are the things on a daily basis that that you're watching or taking in? Whether it's music, social media. Social media. What are you influenced by? What is driving you, and what input, I guess, are you getting? Ask yourself, what are your fears? What are you afraid of, and why? That's also another tricky one, you know, because that can lead you into some sketchy territory, and having to look at why those fears exist, those fears, those insecurities, you know, why are they there? And then kind of ask yourself questions around that. You can ask yourself the question, you know, how do I connect with my environment? And I mean the environment outside, you know, the natural environment. Not necessarily, we already talked about your peers and your friends and groups of people and society and all of that. How do you connect with Mother Nature? You know, do you spend time outside? Are you an outdoors person? If you're not, you should start. Everything is energy. Absolutely everything is energy. And again, your energy is key in how you're going to move through the magical, mysterious realm. So yeah, can you feel that within? Obviously you can, because why else would you be on a video from a chick called the Spiritual Witch if you weren't trying to connect with the mysterious world? You want to guard the gates of your mind. Guard what you're putting in. Guard the thoughts that are coming in. Easier said than done. I mentioned in one of my, I think it was my last video, guarding the gates of your mind. What I mean is, when a thought comes up, if it's a positive thought, great. Go ahead and move through and dance with that. Hang out with that positive thought. That's only gonna lead to good things, right? If it's a negative thought, or what you perceive as negative, look for the lesson in it. See if it's something that's just a garbage thought. If it is, then reject and deny it. Get out of here. I don't want you. I'm not having that thought. It's not a productive thought. It's not a thought that's going to help, right? Again, that's something that you'll have to use your intuition for, because a lot of times the negative thoughts that we have pop up as, little lessons. It's there to teach us something. If there's any kind of conflict in the thought, ask yourself where that's coming from. These are all ways in which to get to know yourself better, And I also put down here that everything that goes in must come out. So if you have emotional blockages, those have to manifest. They are going to surface. In the spiritual community, I think it's kind of I think that there is a divide a little bit between taking what has happened in your past and completely fleshing that out, saying, I'm not my past, that's not me, I'm not bringing that with me, I don't need to bring it up right now, this is now, which is fantastic in some cases. But then other people will say, you need to work on the shadow, and you need to sort of integrate those shadow elements and bring them to the forefront. I'm kind of somewhere in the in-between. I will say that if I didn't have my past, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. I certainly wouldn't be the witch that I am today. I have so much experience because of trauma, because of having to dig myself out of, a very dark, dark place. So, I look at my past quite often, and that is where our subconscious is, where all of those limiting beliefs and false stories and lies that we tell ourselves come from. It is from the past. So, but my point was that, the negative things, the things that just don't serve us, those create emotional blockages. If you have an emotional blockage within, that is going to shut off the channel between you and a positive energy. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as pure. It's not going to be a true, authentic, manifesting energy. So just remember that, and there are tons of videos, research and start digging in. And that's something else that I put down here was, this is a journey, and getting to know yourself. Go down the rabbit holes. And when you're reading something, when you see someone's video and they say something, take a mental note or write it down and say, geez, okay, she mentioned something about psychic abilities, or about Carl Jung, things like that. Go research those things. Your intuition is your biggest energetic guide, in my personal opinion. So the rabbit holes, be careful, because I'm the queen of rabbit holes, and I can branch off in 50 different directions in just a day. So if you're that type of personality, you might have to kind of hone in and guard the gates of your mind with the rabbit holes. But anyway, that's how that there's going to be a sort of a directional guidance system within you that says, my interest is piqued. Let's go on this journey and research this. As I was talking about earlier, the negative thoughts that we have, they will dominate your energy system. because it doesn't just usually stop with one negative thought. So as soon as that thought is allowed to come into your mental space and you start playing with that thought, it's going to generate more. So be careful with that and understand that negative thoughts are a very, very dominating energy within us, you know. It's all about clearing those emotional blockages, getting rid of stagnant energy within, and putting you first. So yeah, I hope that this video has helped and something has resonated with you. I don't know, I think that the best way for me to give guidance and share knowledge is to share my personal experiences. So that is what I'm doing. So, you know, the things that we put out into the universe come back like an echo. And so, yeah, thanks for spending some time with me. And until the next video, blessed be. Thanks for being here.